Our next guest is he had the Triple Crown when he was a runner himself here in college. He might have a guy that does that. Who knows? But his team won another West Coast Conference championship in men and women's. Ed Eyestone joins us on the Deseret First Credit Union hotline. Ed, how was Vegas, and congratulations on the wins.
Thank you very much. Vegas was warm, 70-plus degrees, which is kind of weird when 15 degrees this morning. But our athletes on both the men's and women's team responded very well, and were able to defend our titles, which is always an important thing for us.
Before we jump into the awesomeness that was that, let's highlight the fact that you and Blaine have been connected at the hip since like the 80s, right?
Oh, yes, we have.
In college, you lived by each other in Davis County.
Yeah, I follow Ed wherever he goes. When he moved to Davis County,
not when he runs though. You can't keep up.
No, sometimes Ed would run up behind me when we lived together in the old neighborhood, and he would give me a hard time because he would say, "Blaine, have you been out like 5 or 6 miles?" And I would say, "Ed, I just left the house. It's like that's cold-blooded, man." And he's like, "Oh gosh."
And the problem we had, we lived about a block apart, but it was at the top of Mutton Hollow there in East Layton. And so any of our runs, it started out great, right, Blaine? Because we went down Mutton Hollow. Any run we went on, in Blaine's case, it was a 2-mile run. In my case, it was a 15-miler. But all of those runs ended going up Mutton Hollow. So, but it was good. Those were the days. Good old days.
No, Ed and I were here at BYU at the same time, and
both winning national titles.
Always so much respect for Ed as a person too, but great athlete, one of my favorite coaches in the world, and one of my favorite people in the world. So Ed and I have a long, long history together. I'm so proud and so excited for you guys with these 2 championships. How was this championship? How was this unique? I mean, this is becoming a routine for you guys, but was this one unique in any way?
How was it unique? It's unique, and it's the most recent one. And I guess it's unique in that we are not only the defending conference champs, but we're the defending national champs. And so one of our themes for the year is to defend our title, for the acronym. My mom was great with the acronyms. And so we went with the obvious one, DOT, defend our title. And going into the conference meet, you might think that it's just kind of an easy meet, but the fact of the matter is Portland is a top 10 ranked team. Gonzaga, which was a little bit unheralded, but it had a couple of top-notch studs running for them, was also in the mix. And so you can't really take it for granted. And so I wanted my guys to get a really good experience because we haven't had a lot of cross-country races. We wanted to get out and have a hard effort because 2.5 weeks from now, we have the national championship. And I think we were able to perform pretty well to get that title.
How are you balancing the fact that indoor track has been going at the same time when you don't have to compete? Those don't have to compete against each other, but to some degree, they do in this. Yet you were still able to win the 5th men's league title in a row and the 3rd women's in a row. Who's calling?
It's the president.
Who's calling you? By
it's
the way?
The president calling Ed.
Well, what we've done is we've just tried to treat our indoor meets kind of as cross-country races. And so I took essentially my entire cross-country team up to Seattle a couple of weeks ago and was
we saw in the snow.
Happy. What's that? Yes. In fact, we did get snowed in. Fortunately, it was an indoor race. Yeah. And at the indoor race, I had 6 guys run under 14 minutes for the 5K. 3 in Mance, Klinger, and Garnica broke 13:30, which was the first time that's ever been done by one school in one race. And so we were pretty excited about that. But the tricky thing is the NCAA, in their infinite wisdom, decided to schedule the indoor championships 2 days away from the cross-country championships. And so even though I have runners indoors that are ranked 1st, 2nd, and 3rd in the 5,000, and Mance also is ranked, I think, 3rd or maybe 2nd or 3rd in the 3,000, we're going to have to make the choice. Do we focus on indoor? Do we focus on cross-country? And since we have a chance to defend our title, and we are the reigning champs, we're going to go all in for cross country.
Yeah,
it should be fun.
And that says something about the these runners that they put team first, because certainly Connor and these guys could go and compete for a national title in indoor track in that 5,000. Connor's run the fastest indoor time this year in the world. And so what does that say about these guys, that they're saying, hey, let's go do this, let's go do this team thing, and let's go win a team national championship?
Yeah, you're exactly right, Blaine. And you know, we often think of running as being an individual sport, but one of the great things about track, but also specifically cross country, is it is a team sport. And Mance and I had the conversation of, okay, he certainly is somebody who's strong enough that he probably could bounce back 2 days later and run a very good cross country race. But in the grand scheme of things, having a chance to win a team title and also an individual title in cross country, let's not forget that. That's a pretty big time thing too. If he could do that, I think he would be favored by not having to run a hard 5,000 meters indoors 2 days prior to the national championships in cross country.
It's interesting.
It was an easy decision for him because he is a team player.
Interesting to hear you talk about Connor. It sounds like he's got some great toughness. I've heard you talk about the Mance pain chamber. It reminds me of what everybody used to say about you, that you're the tough runner. I used to talk to Doug Padilla and those guys. They'd say, Ed's just the toughest guy in the world. He has this will, and he will go further into pain than anybody we know, so he just runs people into the ground. Does Connor get that from you? Because I get the sense that he's that same kind of runner.
No, I think he, you know, maybe it's in his DNA, or maybe it's just in his work ethic up there from Smithfield, Utah. But he's his own guy, but he certainly is capable. I call him a grinder as well. He just likes to grind and say, hey, we're going to do a race here, and it's 10,000 meters. It's not a 8,000 meter tempo run and a 2,000 meter race. It's a 10,000 meter race. And so he's going to keep it honest. You know, it's fun just to watch him perform.
Tell us about the women as well, who won for the third time in a row, and then they're expected to do pretty well at nationals as well. What do you expect?
Yeah, I think do pretty well is an understatement. You know, we came just maybe 2 or 3 seconds away from the men and women winning last year. So they ended up second place, in a very strong second place last year. And Diljit Taylor, Coach Taylor, has her women running very, very well. They were able to win by, I think, about 25 points yesterday as well. She's got Aubrey Frentaway was second, Anna Camp was third for a nice combo up front. And she's got, she's got another kind of ace up her sleeve in Whitney Orton, who was one of the top top returning individual from the cross country championship last year, has been back, and she's been rehabbing an injury, but her fitness is coming around. And I think as she brings in Whitney into the fold, I mean, already I think with the athletes they have in place, they are very set to go in and be a podium team. And I think if Whit can come in, I think they may be holding the gold trophy at the year. And Diljit likes to over deliver and under promise, and so she's keeping it pretty low key. But she has a way of getting her women wound up and ready to roll on race day. So I expect really, really good things for women at the national championships, and for them to, they came back. They looked very, very good yesterday in Vegas as well, and winning their championship.
Hashtag run for her. We look forward to
awesome.
Hopefully a couple of natties. That could be fun. Ed, we always appreciate the time. Thanks, man.
Thanks, Ed.
Great to see you. Yep.